Hello. Very good morning, everyone. How are you all? Super. Now, the last class we started accounting standard 4. I hope whatever we have done, you have understood. Have you done the revision of AS4? Have you revised AS2? Have you revised AS29? And have you done all the question of AS29? You have tried, but tried all questions? Some you have understood, some you have not understood. Correct now. Of course, just try to understand we are Atma, not Paramatma. Am I right or not? So when you are doing any question for the first time, it is not that you will understand that on first time only. Correct now? And if you will understand by first time, then to you are Paramatma. So if you have done a chapter in the class, it does not mean that you will understand the solution by your own at first time. Because there are three types of questions you need to identify. Means when you are doing questions, so there will be three types of questions. First question, the moment you read, you understand the solution. Means that type of questions are those questions which can be done by you at any point of time. Means that you have completely understood. You are not supposed to read the solution also, and you have understood. So I think some question of that were of that nature. Some question out of whatever questions have been given, some questions were of that nature in AS29. Second question, second type of question, you read the question, understood, but for understanding you are supposed to read the solution also. Means whatever solution you have given, that might not be correct or you are confused. But when you read the solution, you have understood. When you have read the solution, you have understood. Am I right or not? Some questions you have understood by reading the solution only. And you understood, okay, this was a concept which we have not applied, but you have understood, okay, it is correct only. I think some questions were of that nature. And the third question will be the question which you have not understood by your own. You have read solution, then also you have doubt. You have a doubt about the solution only. So that type of question you have to mark it what properly. Because that question require revision every time. Means first time so don't require revision every time. Second type also mark it. But that is okay. You have understood solution. Now if you read once again, it will be okay. But the third type of question should be marked specifically, and that type of question require revision every time. Got it? So I think you have found that type of question also. Let us discuss one by one. Any doubt, whatever you have, batao. We start from the beginning. However, some question already we have done. MCQ. First come to MCQ. Point number 4. Z Limited has commenced a legal action against Y, claiming substantial damage for the supply of faulty product. The lawyer of Y have advised that company is likely to lose the case, although the chances of paying the claim is not remote. The estimated potential liability estimated by lawyer are legal costs to be incurred in respect of the outcome of case is 50,000. Settlement if the claim is required to be paid is 5 lakh. So just try to understand, one thing is clear that outflow is remote. The chances of paying the claim is not remote. Correct? It means it is not remote means what? It is more than 5%, but less than 50%. Means one thing you have understood, it is not probable. You can't say it is probable. Am I right or not? One second. Once you have asked, so now it is my chance to say na. whether we are doing debate यहाँ पर, whether debate is going on. This is not a debate class ना, कि where I will say one point and you will say one point. Your job done. Now it is my job. I will only say, you only listen. Correct? One second. They said company is likely to lose the case. Means there is a present obligation. But outflow should be also probable, na? Now outflow is not probable. Means second condition is not satisfied. So if second condition is not satisfied, become contingent liability. So present obligation where outflow is not probable, it will be contingent liability. So one thing is clear that this 5 lakh is contingent liability. Correct. But they have given two amounts. One, the legal cost to be incurred irrespective of the outcome of the case. Means there are, when you filed a case, so there will be some expenses which will incur even though you win the case. That you need to pay. For that the provision is required. For that provision is required or not, we can see they have said create a provision of 50,000 and disclose a contingent liability of 5 lakh. Understood? Very good question. Now this you require understanding my help. Write on MRQ. Whenever a doubtful question, write on MRQ. These are the questions which you need to read before exam also. Understood? So his doubt means everyone doubt. It is his doubt means everyone doubt. Doubts are common. Doubts are common. Next question. Means I am assuming that if you are not asking 1, 2, 3, you have understood. That assumption I will take. If you are not asking means you have understood. Chalega? Anyone have doubt, you ask me. Your doubt is your doubt. You ask. Next point. Next question. 7. Come to 7. This too we have done in class only. Under new legislation, entities required to fit smoke filter to the factories by 30th September 2005. The entity has not fitted a smoke filter. Specify the disclosure requirement. No, it is just try to understand the emotions of the question. Smoke filter is required to be fitted, but they may what? They may change the production process. They may close down the factory. Means it depends upon the future conduct of business, and therefore provision is not required. However, in exam when this question will come, now they will give some more information also. Correct? But if you understand smoke filter is required to be fitted, so required to fit it, we can change the entire production system only, or we can close down the factory only. Then we can what restrict our outflow, and therefore it depends upon future conduct of business, and no provision is required. Correct? When I am saying no provision is required, but it can be disclosed as contingent liability. It can be disclosed as contingent liability. But they have not given. They have given only no provision recognized. Correct? Any more doubt? They are saying, however, a provision is recognized for the best estimate of any fines and penalty. So it is quite possible because if you are not fitting the smoke filter, there may be some penalty imposed by the government. For that you can create a provision, but because question is silent for that, you can ignore it. You can create a provision when question says nah. So they have just given an additional point. They have given some additional point which you can ignore in exam if it is silent. Okay. But I hope you have understood why they have said provision for penalty. Because if you are not fitting smoke filter, there may be some fine which may be imposed by the local authority. So for that fine you need to create a provision. But for that question was silent, you can ignore this point. Any other point? Now you have understood this. So now doubt was there. So write on MRQ. Every question which was doubt, write on MRQ. Then next. (13). What they have said? This question was asked in CA Inter only. CA Inter exam. But some year before. Correct now. Very good question. Try to understand the emotions of the questions. Okay. If you understand emotions, then you will be able to answer. So I will read, I'll just explain the question, and in class it is my true belief that you will answer in class. Correct? Messrs CC Limited, a public sector company, provide consultancy and engineering service to its client. So they provide some service to the client. For example, I am also providing some services to you. In the year 1415, the government set up a commission to decide about a pay revision. The pay will be revised with respect to from 1/1/2012, means from the beginning of previous year, means we are in this year right now, na? But they will revise some pay. Pay means employee salary. So government is revising some pay salary. Legal obligation. From 1/1/2012 means from the beginning of which year? 12/30 means retrospectively. It will revise retrospectively based on the recommendation of the commission. The company makes a provision of 1250 lakhs for pay revision in the financial statement 1415 on some estimated basis, as the report of commission is yet to come. Correct only, because there is a present obligation arising from past event. Government has announced it. There is an outflow if resources probable only, an amount can be estimated. So yes, it is correct only now. There is nothing wrong here. So they have said that already they have created provision. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, na? As per the contract with the client on cost plus job, the billing is done on actual payment made to the employee and allocated job based on hour booked by this employee on his job. This you have not understood. This para you have not understood. Just try to understand. There are some time now, whenever we do contract, so we can say that our fees will be cost plus some profit margin. So cost means, suppose I am teaching you, so I have some my rate is there, na? Correct? Or suppose my employee is teaching you, so I need to pay employee, and I am paying on hour basis. So if he teach 1 hour, so I need to pay him 1000 rupees. So I will say I will charge 1000 plus some profit margin. Correct now? So that is known as cost plus profit. Understood now? Suppose my employee is teaching you. So how much I will charge from you? The cost of teaching plus some profit margin. So we have done one contract that whatever service I will provide you, that will be cost plus profit. Means whatever cost incurred plus some profit margin. So if the salary will increase, so my fees will increase, na? Because it is cost plus profit. If salary will increase, so I will demand more fees from you, na? Am I not right or not? Understood? So what they are saying, this is that point. As per the contract with the client, contract already done with the client, on cost plus job. Cost plus job means cost plus profit. Correct? The billing is done on actual payment made to the employee. Actual payment made to the employee. So if the payment has been increased, so of course the fees will increase. And allocate job based on hour booked by this employee on his job. So how much hour they have taught you, that much hour plus their salary per hour plus profit. Understood? The company disclosed through notes to account his salary. They have given some disclosure in the notes to account. The salary and benefit include a provision of 1250 lakh in respect of pay revision. Correct only? Means the salary amount includes some provision for salary for pay revision, that is already recognized. The amount chargeable from reimbursable job will be billed as per the contract when the actual payment is made. Like if whatever is chargeable from client, that will be recognized when the actual payment is made. Means that will recognize revenue on actual payment basis. Means revenue will recognize when the service has been rendered. Revenue will recognize when service will be rendered, na? Bolna yes or no? Revenue will be recognized when service will be rendered. Understood? The accountant feels that companies should also book or recognize the income by rupees 1250 lakh. So what accountant feel that we should also recognize an income, because that will be receivable from what client. So we should recognize an income. So guys, this is a topic of reimbursement. A topic of reimbursement in PL account as per terms of contract. So they are saying accountant is feeling that we should recognize a separate income in profit and loss account to the extent of rupees 1250. Otherwise means alternatively, it will be a violation. Sorry, otherwise means if we are not booking that profit or income, it is a violation of matching concept and understatement of profit. So they are saying if we are not recording income, so we have recognized the expense, and if you are not recording income, so it is a violation of what? Matching concept. It is a violation of matching concept, and there will be understatement of profit. This is accountant viewpoint. Okay. Comment on the opinion of the accountant with reference to relevant AS29. First, to think about AS29. Don't think about this question. Batao, should we recognize provision? Yes. Whether it is reimbursable? Yes. Whether it is virtually certain that it will be reimbursed? Yes. I have not answered. You have given answer. I am only asking question now. So when you think like this, you will not have doubt. Once again, AS29, whether provision is required, whether it is a question of reimbursement, whether the inflow is virtually certain, should we recognize a separate reimbursement asset? Should we recognize a separate reimbursement asset? Yes. In SOPL, should we recognize a separate income? Aya answer. Answer aya. Now what accountant is saying, recognize separate income, that is not correct. As per AS29, we should recognize separate asset and recognize in PL a net amount of expense. Means in PL, the provision and reimbursement asset will be set off and net expense will be zero. Net expense will be zero. So to that extent, accountant is not correct. To that extent, accountant is not correct. So okay, now all things you have only said. I have not said anything. Answer came from you only, na? Answer came from you. So you need to understand the question. First, how to understand the question, that is also one part. So when you break and read the question, then only you will understand. You need to break it in small parts. Small parts. Understood? Now let us read the answer. As per AS29, where some or all of the expenditure required to settle the provision is expected to be reimbursed by another party, the reimbursement should be recognized when and only when it is virtually certain that reimbursement will receive if the entity settle the obligation. The reimbursement should be treated as a separate asset. The amount recognized for reimbursement should not exceed the amount of provision. So this we have done only. First you have written that. Then I am not reading this point. In this case, the provision of salary to employees 1250 lakh will be ultimately corrected from the client. Yes or no? As per the terms of contract, therefore liability of 1250 lakh is matched by the counter claim from the client. Hence, the provision for salary of employees should be matched with the reimbursement asset to be claimed from the client. It appears that whole amount is recoverable from the client and there is no significant uncertainty. Means there is a virtual certainty. You can add on the word virtual certainty. There is a virtual certainty about a collection. Hence the net charge to PL should be nil. Hence in SOPL the net amount to be recorded as expense will be nil. Yes or no? 1250 provision and 1250 reimbursement asset, so automatically the amount becomes zero in SOPL. The opinion of accountant regarding recognition of income is not as per AS29. So they are saying recognize a separate income, that is not as per AS29. Correct now. And also the concept of prudence will not be followed if 1250 is simultaneously recognized as income. So if you are recognizing income, means we are not following the prudence concept. Correct? 1250 lakh is not revenue at present, but only a reimbursement of claim for which asset is created. However, the accountant is correct to the extent of Non-recognition of 1250 lakh as income will result in understatement of profit. To avoid this, in SOPL, expense relating to provision may be presented net of amount recognized for reimbursement asset. So whatever you have said, you can write down in your own words, but the same answer will come now. So when you read solution, because this solution is given by some technical person, and we are not so much technical that we can match with their comment, because this answer is given by some chartered accountant. So he has given some technical way of giving answer, but we are not so much technical right now. Can we match this answer? No. But whatever you are writing, if the emotions match, you will get marks. So whatever you are writing, the meaning should come same. So write in your own word. Ultimately, the answer will come same only, na. So you are not supposed to match your answer with the ICS solution. That is impossible. Even though I am writing exam, I can't match, na. बोलना है सुनो. First तो our English is what? वल्ले वल्ले. We are अंग्रेज? No, na. So can you say we are not good in English? We need to accept it. We are not good in English, na. Ha. Are you able to? We are not good in English. So they don't deduct marks for spelling mistake. They don't deduct marks for grammatical mistake because they also don't know English. All CAs are bad in English. Are you getting what I am saying? So don't worry about English right now. But whatever you are writing, emotionally it should be same. They should understand the meaning. Yes, as per AS 29 you have understood. Correct? But can you write down this technical wording? No. But can I say I have just given the keyword, that much you can write down? Virtually certain. Now if you are not writing virtually certain, then the paap hai. Then the paap hai na. So that keyword you should write down. If you are writing that now, they will understand, oh, you know everything, and they will give marks. Now, okay, write down MRQ. Any other question? Question number? Come to 21. Means this much question you have understood, na? Only few questions you have not understood. Means chapter you have understood. Out of this much question, only 4 or 5 are doubt. Means okay, na? Am I right or not? And first time you are doing question 21. This is also doubtful question. This was also asked in one of the exam of CA Inter. Correct now? And given in then RTP also. But this is also doubtful question. Means whatever question you are asking, all are doubtful question only. Even though you ask to CA final, they will also not be able to answer. You ask this question to your seniors, they will also think twice and they will give wrong answer only. But you are able to understand, na? If you are able to understand, then okay. Simple. A company incorporated as NPO under the Companies Act is having a main objective to promote the trade by organizing trade fairs or exhibitions. While organizing the trade fair and exhibition, it decided to charge 5% contingency charge for participants or outside agencies on the income received from them by the company. Understood? While organizing the trade fair and exhibition, it decided to charge 5% contingency charge for the participant or outside agencies on the income received from them by the company. While in case of fair organized by outside agencies, 5% contingency charge are levied separately in the invoice. Correct. The contingency charge in respect of fair organized by the company itself are inbuilt in space rent charge from the participant. Both are credited to income and expenditure account of the company. Have you understood anything? Have you understood? I have not explained anything, but have you understood? Thoda you understood? Thoda. So don't judge anything. You have read only first para. Normally what happens, we read first para and we start judging it is a difficult question. And then we'll be demotivated. Otherwise we'll leave it or we'll leave it. and we'll sleep or we'll go to other question. You have read only first para now. Read entire question. Then we'll judge whether it is complicated or easy. Okay, na? First para thoda thoda to you have understood. Chalo. I have not explained anything. Huh? The intention. यहाँ से you'll be able to understand the emotions of that 5% contingency charge. The intention of levying this charge is to meet any unforeseen liability which may arise in the future. Oh ho ho. Means, have you understood? Means they are charging the participant 5% contingency charges. Means they are organizing some event. There will be some participant. So we are charging 5% from them because there can be some unforeseen loss in future. And we are charging from them. Understood? Correct. So that is an income for us now, whatever we are charging from participants. The instance of such unforeseen liability could be on account of injury or loss of life to visitor or exhibitor, etc. due to fire, terrorist attack, oh my god, stamp-debt, natural calamities, and other public and third party liability. Means they are assuming that if terrorists are gaya, so there will be some loss now. Because of that reason, they are charging something extra from the participant. And chances of that terrorist attack is very high. It is very high. Then no one will come. No one will come na. Means the chances of that attack or loss is high or remote? Remote only. Are you able to understand emotions? It is remote or high? Remote only. Correct na? Understood? Yes, sir. The chances of occurrence of this event are high because of large crowd visiting the fair. They are saying chances of occurrence of this event are high because of large crowd. Means they are thinking that large crowd is coming, so some terrorists may come. The decision to levy 5% contingency charge was based on assessment only as actual liability on account cannot be estimated. The accountant treatment and disclosure was made by the company in its financial statement as 5% contingency charge are treated as income and a matching provision for the same is also made in the account. So whatever they are recovering, that to that become income, but they have also created a provision for that contingencies. Correct. Suitable disclosure to this effect is also made in the notes forming part of account. You are required to comment whether creation of provision for contingencies considering the facts and circumstances of the case is required in the line with AS29. My question to you, any obligation is there from past event? No. First condition is not satisfied. Should we create provision? Income, okay, this chapter we are not doing for income. This chapter we are doing only for provision. Now if you charge something extra from your participant, that is an income. How to recognize income? That will be AS9 coming soon in your life. But I am not discussing right now AS9. Should we create provision? Should we create provision? No, na. What is the answer given? Check karo. As per AS29, a provision should be recognized when A, B and C is satisfied. That too you know. Should I read? You can write it in your own words. From the above, it is clear that for the contingency considered by the company, neither a present obligation exists because of past event, nor reliable estimation can be made for the amount of obligation. Because of that reason, they are charging 5% contingency. So we can't make reliable estimation given terrorist attack will happen, then how much is the loss? However, first condition not satisfied now, we'll not go to the third condition. First condition not satisfied, so we'll go to third condition. No use only. Accordingly, a provision cannot be recognized for such contingencies. No. It was not complicated. But for the first time, when you read the question, Ore Baba, such a high level question, 5% contingency, terrorist attack, we are such a bacha and they are asking about terrorist attack. Nalayak, they should not ask this type of question. You may think like this. When I read for the first time this question when I was student, so I was also like you. I have also not understood. You are to understanding now. Yes or no? So if you are understanding solution, so okay, because we are not Paramatma. I think after reading solution, after reading solution, you have understood. You have understood. Then also ऐसा लगा कि सर से पूछ लो. Am I right or not? But you have understood solution. But my explanation will help you. My explanation has helped you. Got it? Got it? Chalo, next point. I am just explaining you how to read question. That is the main point. Most of the students will read first para and surrender. But once you read the second para, it become easy na? It become easy. Correct. Next point. Next question. Fast. I think apart from this, no doubt should come. I think. Any doubt? 22 third. आ जाओ. सारा ही कर लेते ना. We'll do all. CHIRANJEEV Limited is in the process of finalizing its account for the year ended 31st March. It seeks you about advice in the following case. CHIRANJEEV Limited has filed a court case 1415 against the competitor. It became evident that its lawyer during the year ended 31st March 2000 that Choice Limited may lose the case and would have to pay 3 lakh being the cost of litigation. No provision has been made in the books. But correct or wrong? Wrong. They should create a provision of how much? 3 lakh. Khadam. A new regulation has been passed in 1920 by the Healthcare Ministry to upgrade facility. Deadline set by the government is 31st March 2021. 31st March 2021. The company estimates an expenditure of 10 lakh for the said upgrade. Batao. Should we create a provision? Huh? Should we create a provision? Bolo. They are asking for which year? 31st March 2020. 31st March 2020. So just try to understand. A new regulation has been passed. And the deadline is what? 31st. This is a due date, na? So right now there is no obligation only. There is no obligation. The question of creating provision will not arise. Correct. The question of creating provision will not arise. Chalega. And it depends upon future conduct of business. It depends upon future conduct of business. You can also mention this point. And therefore provision is not required. The company gives 1 year warranty for its healthcare equipment under the contract of sale that it will make good any manufacturing defect by repair and replacement. So provision is required. Provision for warranty. This too we have done in class also. As per the past experience, it is probable that there will be 1% of such case, and the estimated cost of repair and replacement is estimated at 10% of such value. During the year, the company has made a sales of 5 crore. So we need to estimate amount. Provision is required. No. That is an estimation wala point. Outflow is remote. Outflow should be remote. Amount can be any amount. Because 1% of bigger amount is large. 1% of 2000 crore. 1% of 500 crore. It is a material or immaterial? Material, na. You can't say 1% is immaterial. This is very important doubt. Doubt came in the class. We discussed. Now you will never do mistake. So each doubt is important. Because if you will not discuss same thing, you will think in exam hall. So 1% does not mean it is immaterial. Correct? Now provision is required. Am I right or not? Correct? Now 5 crore ka 1% how much? So 1% of such case. So they are saying the case can be the total sale is 5 crore. So 1% of that sales will be, we need to replace or we need to repair the goods. So 1% of 5 crore how much? 5 lakh na? 5 lakh. 5 crore ka 1%. 5 crore ka 1% how much? 5 lakh. Then they are saying 10% will be the cost. So into 10% will be how much? So 50,000 is the amount of provision. Will be the amount of provision. I think they have given that only 50,000. That on MRQ. All doubtful question MRQ. Huh? Done. So what you have felt? Out of how many questions? 23. How many were doubtful question? Let us see. 1 question, 2 question, 2 question, 3 question, 4 question. This too I have only done. Chalo 5 question. This was not a doubt. 6 question. This too I have done. 7 question. This also you have asked. And 8, it was good. 8 questions. In 8 questions you require my help. Out of how many questions? 23 minus 8. Means 15 questions you have done by your own. Means 15 divided by 23 means 65% you have done by your own. This is an achievement. You have done for the first time this type of chapter. You have never imagined in your life in accounts I will be teaching this type of chapter, and you are covering 65% by your own. It's easy only na. Are bola? And whatever we have discussed after my explanation you have understood. And if you have understood, it is tough or easy. If you are not understanding, then the one doubt will come. So my question to you all, have you understood all the doubtful questions? Similar question if they ask, you can do it by your own. Correct? Can we proceed? So from my point of view now, AS2 and AS29 both completed. We'll do in this way only. First I will teach you, I'll take some question, but maximum question I'll give you. You do it on an immediate basis. Then next day we'll come back, we'll discuss all the doubt. Understood? So when you are doing by your own, you'll feel that whether you have actually understood or not. If I will take all the questions by my own now, you will always understand. Because I will explain now. Got it? Yes, sir. Now let us come to the AS4 again. AS4, let us revise whatever we have done. Contingencies we have done. Contingencies already we have done in AS29 only. So what are the contingencies? Contingency is a condition or situation. The ultimate outcome is gain or loss, which is not known and will be determined by the occurrence or non-occurrence of uncertain future event. Correct? Then we have understood accounting treatment also. I think this para was already explained where? In AS29. So what I can say, AS29 is a byproduct of these contingencies. Means AS29 has been derived from these contingencies only. Now the contingencies which are dealt in AS29 is not covered in AS4. This AS4 contingencies part only cover which contingency? Provision for bad and doubtful debt. Means whenever you are creating provision, you are creating provision as per AS4 contingencies. Apart from other provision you are creating as per AS29. This you remember. In exam if they ask you create provision for doubtful debt, don't write on as per AS29. Na? If you write as per AS29, they will say come next time. Correct? Understood? Yes, sir. Contingencies you have understood. Then we started event occurring after balance sheet date. We have done a detailed discussion. I have given you the practical approach. Correct? I said on reporting date, on balance sheet date, we only prepare trial balance and draft balance sheet. Then one auditor will come. He will verify the books of account. He will raise many queries to the board of directors. Board of directors will do some adjustment in the financial statement considering that point. Then they will sign the balance sheet by calling a meeting. Once they sign the financial statement, it become approved. Approved means it will become approved financial statement. Means on that date financial statement is actually prepared, and that will be now presented to the shareholders in AGM. Presenting that financial statement to shareholders in AGM is only a formality. However, shareholders will approve the financial statement in annual general meeting. So can I conclude with this entire discussion that any event which occur after balance sheet date, correct, till the date of approval by board of directors may be adjusted in current year financial statement? Understood? Therefore, this chapter was introduced. So what is the meaning of event occurring after balance sheet date? Are those significant events? Significant only, because AS does not apply to insignificant item. Are significant, which may be favorable or unfavorable, which occur between two dates, balance sheet date and the date when the financial statements are approved by the board of directors in case of company, or by any concerned approving authority in case of any other entity. Now from this chapter point, there are two type of event. One will be adjusting event, one will be non-adjusting event. Adjusting event require adjustment, non-adjusting event require Babaji. Means no adjustment required. For them only disclosure required. For them only disclosure required. So adjusting event, we need to pass one adjusting entry. Entire class 11, 12 and CA foundation, you have done that adjustment with trial balance. So the adjustment given in trial balance is this chapter only. Am I right or not? Correct. Understood this point? So what is the meaning of adjusting event? Adjusting event are those events which provide further evidence of the condition existing on the balance sheet date. Means condition was already there in the balance sheet date. Means it is related to contingencies. Contingencies are conditions. Means there was some condition existing on balance sheet date, and now we got some evidence for that particular condition, so therefore adjustment required. But if any event which relate to the condition arising after balance sheet date, so there was no condition existing on balance sheet date, so non-adjusting event, no adjustment required. We have done many examples, correct? I hope you remember all that examples. In that example, any doubt? So once again I will repeat. Once again I will repeat. If you have not understood any example, the last example come inventory, correct? So I have given two cases for inventory. Just try to understand. Example. I say this is 31st March and is the date of approval, and there was an inventory whose cost price was 100 and RB was 120. A fire occurred and an RB become what? 30. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Adjusting, non-adjusting. It is a non-adjusting event. Means this though you have understood? Not means, can I say there was no contingencies of loss on 31st March. Understood now? There was no condition of loss on 31st March. Fire occurred after 31st March. Means the condition arises after 31st March. Means this event relate to the condition arising after balance sheet date, and therefore it is a non-adjusting event, therefore only disclosure required, adjustment not required. Then I have given similar example. I say this is 31st March, then cost price 100 and NRB 80, and it was actually sold at 40. NRB I say it is an estimated amount, means it is estimated selling price and estimated selling expense. So this is an estimated amount. Now because you have estimated and now you are getting an actual information that it can be actually sold at 40. So batao, it is an adjusting or non-adjusting? It is adjusting only, no doubt about this. I think in these two situations there was no doubt, and you are happy only. Then I introduce one googly in your life, and then ऐसा हो गया, बोले या सुनो. तो sometime whatever हमें लगता है कि हम समझ गए लेकिन हम समझे नहीं, and because of that reason some googly is required. Understood? Googly, you know? Huh? Googly is required. Googly is a term which we use in cricket game. So googly means when the ball is given, the batsman cannot read the swing. So suppose he is a, why I am explaining that. So sometime googly is there, so that you will feel that actually it is turning somewhere around your life. Means you have understood these two examples, then achanak se I have given one question which will affect the previous questions. Yes or no? So now I said, example, cost price 100, NRB was 120 only, and then nothing happened, fire not occurred, nothing happened, correct? Nothing happened, but it was actually sold at rupees 80. Quite possible. But then what happened? It was sold at 80. What actually happened? Huh? Demand decreases. Demand decreases now. One of the reason demand decreases means it become obsolete. My question to you all: any inventory will become obsolete on a day. Means it become obsolete. This mobile become obsolete. Can you see? If I am a dealer of this mobile, I know that it is going to become obsolete. Bole yes or no? So if the demand decreases, so but on 31st March that condition was there or not? Yes. Yes. For example, a new scheme came. I am teaching new scheme now. Now if I have a study material of old scheme, that become obsolete or not? So I have, when the institute announced the new scheme, so I was knowing that this is only for the last set of November 2023. After that, all the study material I actually print this. So we are given in hurry this material because we were not having time to print color printout. Normally I give color printout to my students, and that printout we do 1000 set, 1000 copies we print, 1000 copies together. Understood now? You will see the final we have 1000 copies because that book was already ready. But this we were hurry, so we have given for the timing like this because we need to start a batch now. Understood? So what happened? The old stock we have, there were 450 books left. That information I was knowing that this is only for this batch. For the next batch it will not be used. So I have decreased the price. The sale price was suppose 1000. It was made available to all students at 450 only on my cost, so that I can recover the cost at least now. So this information I was knowing or not, even though new scheme has not came. Abhi to old scheme, November 23 the old scheme is applicable na. Yes or no? Then also I reduce the price. It means as a businessman I know when my stock is going to become obsolete. So when this was estimated, my question to you or not, the management was knowing about a fact of obsolescence or not? Yes. It means condition was prevailing. There was a condition. This was wrongly estimated. It was wrongly estimated, and therefore this will be also what? Adjustment. Simple. If you are estimating and you got some actual information, so correct it now. Simple thing. Don't think about condition. Don't think about the technical terms. If you have estimated some amount and before approval of financial statement, you got the actual amount, you only say, you will inform to the user actual amount or estimated amount. Actual amount, understood point. But this, no. This is not correct. This will say now to sir, 1 second we know NRV, but this NRV arises because of condition which was not existing on balance sheet date. Because fire occurred after balance sheet date. So you can't say no, we'll adjust this. This is against our principle of accounting only. Understood this point? Have you understood this point? Correct? Yes, sir. Doubt about? I think now it is understood. You are able to understand emotions. Can I take some more examples? Okay. So I have taken some example of debtor. Then I have taken some example of provision for legal cases. Then I have taken example of inventories. I'll take example of machinery. Can I take example of machinery? Even though we have not started AS10. AS10 is for property, plant and equipment. Then also you know machinery from Bachpan. Bachpan, so you are writing machinery, we are in the asset side of the balance sheet na. So you know machinery, therefore I can take example. Fill the example and try to answer. Acha, मुझे बता, whether machinery will be recorded at cost price or NRV whichever lower. At cost less depreciation. At cost less depreciation. This too you know. NRV concept is not there. NRV concept is not there. So this is example number what? My example number 7 completed. 10 completed. Means I have given 9 example. Oh my god. हाँ ज़्यादा हो गया. चैप्टर कंप्लीट कर देते यूज से नालायक. बताइए टीचर इज टीचिंग ज़्यादा, देन ऑल्सो ही इज नॉट हैप्पी. मतलब क्या जमाना आ गया है. If I am teaching more, then also he is not happy. Sir, teach less. We need to pass only, sir, and will pass. If this is the thinking, then everyone will pass, na? Then why I am teaching? Then everyone will pass. Ye enter ray. The result is what? 20%. Date of approval. Now, suppose there was a machinery, and the carrying amount of machinery was 10 lakh. And it was actually sold at rupees 9 lakh. Batao, adjusting, non-adjusting. Adjusting. What was the condition? Arey yaar. Carrying amount means book value. Book value means after depreciation. Huh? I have said somewhere carrying amount is the amount which is carried in balance sheet. Yes or no? So normally, practically we say carrying amount. Carrying amount is nothing but book value. Book value means after depreciation. Okay? So I will write down book value only if you are not comfortable with carrying amount. Chalega? Batao. Now adjusting, non-adjusting. Batao. Whether there was any condition of sale. It was sold after balance sheet date. Then to you recognize all future event. Recognize. Then to you just ignore the AS29 only. What was the condition? This is a future event, na? Just try to understand. Inventory, it was held for sale. Machinery is not held for sale. Inventory we disclose at cost price or NRV. But here we don't disclose it at cost price or NRV. This is at carrying amount after depreciation. It will be sold after some time. It does not mean you recognize this loss right now, na? Correct. So I will say this is non-adjusting event. Have you understood this point? थोड़ा सा change करेंगे. Don't be confused. Apply your brain. This is though I think very easy. Everyone will say non-adjusting event. Example number 11. Think and say, huh? There was a machinery of 10 lakh and management has proposed to sell. There was a proposal, huh? There was a proposal to sell. They have just make a proposal that they will sell this machinery at rupees 9 lakh. Means no agreement was entered. There was only a proposal. Proposal, you understood na? Proposal. Someday you have also proposed someone. Till now not proposed. You have proposed. ICI. You have proposed to ICI. Correct? That you are going to become CA. But that should be now committed. Huh? You are committed to CA. Na? So acceptance one. Huh? Correct? So it is only a proposal. Acceptance not received. Huh? Means it is not a contract. Na? Correct? Now it is actually sold at rupees 9 lakh. Batao. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Huh? Adjusting or non-adjusting? It is non-adjusting. Don't fight, Ray. I am there to help you. Because if I am asking a question, it means I am here to explain you only. It is non-adjusting. So the condition arises from past event. What was the past event यहाँ पर? Whether it was a contract, whether it is a past event, means when we say recognize, so there should be some condition based on past event. Past event means there should be some either legal obligation or contractual obligation. There is no obligations only, I will say. If I propose whether I am committed to sale, no, no, I am not committed to sell it. It was only a proposal. It was only a proposal. Therefore, non-adjusting event. Therefore, non-adjusting event. Correct? This is an exam question. This is all our exam question. Those who are saying, sir, bus, It means no. This is an exam question. Now one more exam question asked. This all example I have created from my exam questions only. I am not creating. I am just writing that exam question in my frame, so that when you read that question you can answer by rote. Okay? Example number 12 means if you give me time I can create 1 lakh questions, huh? But you don't have also that much time. I also don't have that much time. Therefore, I am just creating those questions which are from examination point of view. Now, I will change the question. Masonry this is balance sheet date. This is date of approval. Now there was an agreed to sell machinery at rupees 10 lakh, and before approval registration completed. Understood this point? Registration means sale deed etc. completed, or whenever you sell some land, so it need to be registered with government. So for that we say registration completed with the government. The name has been transferred in the name of seller, buyer. Understood? So that is when registration completed. Okay. Now बताओ adjusting non-adjusting. Agreed to sell machinery at rupees 10 lakh and before approval of financial statement registration completed. बताओ adjusting non-adjusting. Adjusting non-adjusting. Why non-adjusting? Agreed. Oh my God. Agreed. Agreement done. Agreed na. Agreed. Agreed means contract. बोलना है सुनो. Agreed means contract or not? Agreed. Agreed means both party agreed na. I agreed. And if you have not agreed, well, it is agreement. I said agreed means you are also agreeing na. If I say proposal, it is not agreed. Yes or no? So he said agreed to sell. Agreed means what? Agreement done. Agreement done or not? बताओ. Adjusting non-adjusting. ठीक है, you are not able to understand the sentence para. Okay, I have explained now. So agreed now you have understood. Agreed means agreed. Contract is there. So in this there was no contract proposal. There was no contract. But here तो there is a contract ना. बताओ. Now बताओ adjusting non-adjusting. Now तो everyone saying adjusting ना. Adjusting event. Correct. But just try to understand everyone. This though you have understood adjusting event. In exam also you read on adjusting event. Because ICI has asked this question many times. But from my point of view, actually this is not a question of AS4. Just try to understand. Suppose this is a mobile. Just try to understand. This is land. Land मान लो land. We have done one agreement that from today you will use it. Means it is your asset. Give me 20 lakh. I have received 20 lakh. And you started using it. Control has been transferred or not? Control has been transferred. But registration will take some time or not? Registration means you will become legal owner in the eyes of government only when registration completed. And it will take time 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. In India, so it may be 5 months, 6 months because government are busy. There may be some delay in registration. So agreement on the control transferred or not? Now it is my asset or your asset? Your बताओ. Control transfer. Who is using this asset? Can I use this land without your permission? No. It is under whose control? It means It need to be de-recognized means we need to pass journal entry of sale right now only or not, even though registration not completed. Means registration is only a legal formality. Now, as per substance of a form, we have discussed that. As per substance of a form, legality is important for accounting or reality. So here what is the substance of this transaction, that control has been transferred. So whether you will wait for registration for passing journal entry, so from my point of view, it is not a question of AS4, but ICAI is asking this question in AS4 only, and therefore I am discussing. So from my point of view, if control transferred, then AS10 will apply. Abhi AS10 we have not done, we'll do it. And AS10 says record sale journal entry. Here only, even if registration not completed. Am I right or not? So from my point of view, it is not a question of AS4, but suppose this question comes, answer as per AS4. Why to take risk in exam? Because ICAI is also explaining from AS4, registration completed, it is an adjusting event, and therefore sale journal entry will be done on which year? In current financial year. Correct? So answer are same. My answer and ICAI is same, but my answer is as per AS10. Their answer is as per AS4. But answer is what? Yes, we need to record sale journal entry. In which financial year? In this financial year. So both answer are same, but they are giving answer based on AS4. I am giving answer based on AS10 because I am expert. I don't know who is giving their answer. I am okay with my answer, but we will not take any risk because we are writing whose exam? CJSR exam or ICAI exam? So we will follow ICAI only. But I have just given because when you do AS10, now this type of doubt might come. Now, let me ask you one more question. To understand whether you have understood or not. Agreed to sell land at rupees 20 lakh. And the date of approval and registration was completed यहाँ पर. Understood? Quite possible. After approval of financial statement, but adjusting, non-adjusting. Not null. It is not a question of AS4. We only consider which event? This event. Bole yes or no? My question to you, AS4 adjusting, non-adjusting will not applicable only. Because adjusting and non-adjusting is only for this event, na? Means this type of question they will not ask in AS4. But the control transfer or not? Will you wait for registration? Substance of a form will be applicable. And yes, you need to record sale journal entry which year? So you need to adjust it only, na? But if you are saying adjusting, non-adjusting as per AS4, so I will say AS4 is not applicable only. Why it is not applicable? Because we only deal with this event in AS4. This is outside the scope of AS4. Correct? So here, once again, I will say as per AS10. Just write down. Control has been transferred. Write down answer. As per AS10, if control has been transferred, as per AS10, if control has been transferred, such land should be de-recognized. Such land should be de-recognized. Should be de-recognized. De-recognized, deleted. We should remove the balance from balance sheet. Recognize means we should add. De-recognize means we should delete. such assets to be de-recognized in the current financial statement from the current financial statement even if registration is not completed, even if registration is not completed by the end of the year, even if registration is not completed by the end of the year. Registration is only a legal formality, madam. Registration is only a legal formality as per substance of a form. Registration is only a legal formality as per substance of our form. Understood? Correct. 13 also you understood? 14. थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग, हाँ ठीक है. Suppose there was a debtor of rupees 10 lakh, and I'm not saying it is a doubtful debtor, huh? It is debtor only, huh? If I'm saying debtor, good debtor, and we receive a check of rupees 10 lakh. बताओ whether this receipt of check adjusting non adjusting ना date of approval के पहले, we have received the check before date of approval only, means this is an event occurring after balance date and before approval of financial statement. AS4 में आया adjusting non adjusting, हाँ adjusting. What adjustment you will do? Means cash received journal entry you will do where? On 31st March. In current financial statement, you receive check after 31st March and you will increase your bank on 31st March. Wow, 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 wow. Till now you have not done this type of journal entry in your life. Now you are emotionally affected with this chapter. Arey bhai, this is only a receipt of check. As per chronological order, when you will pass this journal entry, when you have received, you reduce your debtor. Right now, I have a debtor, so I will receive the check. At some point of time, I will reduce my debtor right now. बोलना रे. Just try to understand. It has nothing to do with this chapter only. Whether, just try to understand, this was a debtor outstanding amount. You receive a check. You receive a check after 31st March. So when you will pass journal entry of receipt of check after 31st March. Understood? Means I have just given that how I have just given this example to check what you are thinking about this chapter. This chapter I said there must be some conditions and you have done some estimation यहाँ पर and you get some proper information, then you are adjusting it. This is the mere objective of this chapter. Mere objective of this chapter. You can see all we have done in that way only. This is toward a transaction which is a future transaction. Future transaction will you record in this year. Then they will purchase asset before 31st March. Suppose you purchase asset यहाँ पर, you have sold asset यहाँ पर, you have done many transactions यहाँ पर, all become adjusting then though. You may purchase some asset after 31st March before approval of financial statement, whether it will become adjusting event. Correct. So just try to understand, there was no condition of collection on this date. Whether the amount was to be collected on 31st March? No. Whether amount was going to be collected on 31st March? No, na. So this is actually a non-adjusting event. It is a non-adjusting event. Have you understood? ठीक है, don't worry, होता है, don't worry, ठीक है. But I have given this example to create a next example. This you have understood? This type of question they will not. This type of question they will not ask in exam. But the next question, whatever I will give, I have created a foundation for that. This too you have understood. It is a non-adjusting event. Now use your brain, huh? And if you can say me correct answer, I will give chocolate. Understood? So when I am giving chocolate, it means everyone will not give correct answer, huh? And therefore I have announced chocolate. Okay? But if you are giving correct answer, means, so no, if you are giving correct answer, so it means you are better than CA final student. Okay? But this question have been asked in CA inter exam. I am giving example of CA inter exam only. Are you able to understand? Okay? So if you are giving answer, it means you are better than CA final student. This means pass CA inter fast and come to my CA final class. Okay? So, means this CA inter exam is only a formality for you. Substance of a form. Example number 15. Oh my god. But if you are not able to answer, don't feel bad, because CA final student will also not be able to answer first time. Okay? But I have a firm belief that some of you will give me correct answer, but I want explanation also. Only not adjusting, non-adjusting. तुक्का लग जाएगा. So I want explanation also. Oh my god. Date of approval. Debtor. Think practically, huh? Now you receive a check dated 31st March or before 31st March. Oh, means you receive a check after 31st March, but date of check was either 31st March or before 31st March. Understood the question? Means I have received a check in the date was what? Either 31st March or 29 March or 27 March or 20 Feb also. We may receive or not. But we receive after what? 31st March. Have you understood emotions? This question has been asked in CA inter. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Think and say, not in hurry, raise your hand. Actually, what happened? Bolo. Raise your hand. Adjusting. Have you understood the question? Difference you understood? Difference is normal check I have given. Doubt was not there. Doubt is here. Adjusting, non-adjusting. You receive that check after 31st March, but date is what? So can you pass the journal entry यहाँ पर for receipt of check? This is a doubt. Adjusting means you can pass journal entry यहाँ पर. Non-adjusting means you to pass when it was received. Understood? Correct? Means when you are saying adjusting, so you can pass journal entry on 31st March as per the date of check. And when you are saying non-adjusting, you need to pass journal entry when you have received it, irrespective of date of check. Raise your hand. I want explanation also. For the first time I am seeing that in this, the girls are not answering and boys are answering. In my class normally I found girls are answering more than boys. And the ratio of girls becoming CA is more than ratio of boys. As if we compare girls and boys ratio. Okay, बोलो. अच्छा, I can ask anyone, huh? There is no personal bias यहाँ पर. So if I am asking that person, I am not asking you. Don't feel bad about me. I am equal for everyone. You. adjusting. Why? As per the chronological order. ठीक है, your answer may be correct, your answer may be wrong. अभी right now I will not give answer. Sit down. Because अभी there are many other person also ना. Anyone want to give some other answer? हाँ, adjusting के बाद non adjusting आएगा. So why non adjusting? Then what? But date of check is what? But date of check is what? So we can pass journal entry. What is wrong in that? So when I am asking explanation, it should be convincing. %70% I am convinced. 70% I am convinced. No. 70% convinced rank holder है. ठीक है ना? 70% I am convinced. थोड़ा सा if you want to add तो मजा आ जाएगा. Means answer is non-adjusting only. 70% I am convinced. You said now we can deposit only after 31st March. 70% I am convinced. You want to add something? So your answer I think non-adjusting only. बोलो. Convincing. I got better answer from him. Your answer is correct. Chocolate मिल गया. You receive a chocolate. But I want to give some other point because I want that one word. Means if you are giving me that word means you are in my class. But I am happy with you. Means you are saying adjusting. So why not adjust? That's only I am asking. No, but date is 31st March, no? So I can pass journal entry on 31st March. That is not a correct explanation. Explanation I got. Explanation I got. What he said is, sir, you can't record on 31st March because you can't use the check on 31st March. You can deposit, you can endorse, you can whatever. Only after 31st March means the check was not under your control on 31st March. I was actually, means if you would have said this now, then I would have said pakka CA. Means, can you see if you are recording, it become an asset? Check is an asset. So whether it is under control, under your control on 31st March? No. So can you recognize an asset which is not under your control? No. Means you can use this check only once you receive it. And receive after 31st March. Means this check was not under your control on 31st March. The question of recognition will not arise on 31st March. Therefore, it is a non-adjusting event. Understood? Happy, very happy. I am very happy that now you started thinking logically. This is what CA answer. I want this formation on you. Means I am actually changing you from student to CA student. I am changing you. In this first 3-4 class, the objective is not teaching. The objective is changing from student to CA student. You should think like CA student. You should eat like CA student. You should die like what? CA student. Then only we are CA student. Die means studying. Study like CA student. Understood? Have you understood? Have everyone understood the answer given? So it is a non-adjusting event as check was not under the control of entity on or before 31st March and hence it will not meet the definition of, it will not meet the definition of asset. Correct na? Definition of asset on which date? On 31st March. And therefore the question of recognition will not arise. We can't recognize a check on 31st March. So it is a non-adjusting event. Got it? Understood? Last example. Then it is your turn. You do all the questions by your own. Please to understand whether you have understood this or not. One more example. Once again, there was a debtor, and what happened? Check dated 31st March or before 31st March was collected by collecting agent. Understood what I am saying? Sometimes we appoint some agent to collect the check. It can be employee also. Agent is nothing but a person on our behalf. Means they are acting on our behalf, na? So employee is also our agent. Means if I say to my employee, just go and collect the check. So he will collect the check on my behalf. Correct? So was collected by collecting agent. Before 31st March only. Understood? So collecting agent has collected before 31st March, but handed over such check to entity after 31st March. Means agent are our authorized person, huh? We have only authorized them. So we have authorized that agent to collect on our behalf. Sometimes we appoint bank to collect the check. Bank will go and will collect check on our behalf. The bank become collecting agent. Correct. In this case, bata adjusting, non-adjusting. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Anyone saying non-adjusting? Everyone saying adjusting. Anyone saying non-adjusting? Everyone saying non-adjusting. Everyone saying adjusting. How many are saying adjusting? Raise your hand. 100% correct. Correct. Understood. So my explanation is not required. You have understood the emotions of this example. You have understood the emotions of this example. Correct. So with this, I will now stop, because I can create n number of questions. Then I will teach this chapter only throughout the entire syllabus. So one part is completed. One part is completed. There are two special cases. That is very small case. If you do that, this chapter is completed. So let me complete this chapter by today only, so that you can go and discuss all the points. So once again, come to the book first. Types of event, non-adjusting event. I think non-adjusting event you have understood, and no adjustment required. So what they are saying, disclosure of such event is required in the report of approving authority. Oh, the disclosure will not give me notes to account. Disclosure is required in the notes of Notes of in the report of approving authority means director's report. Can I ask one question? Contingent liability will be disclosed where? Very good. Contingent asset? Very good. And this report of approving authority. So you need to be careful where you are disclosing, correct? And this adjusting event require adjustment to financial statement. When I am saying adjustment, adjustment means what? Can I say asset and liability will be adjusted? And when you adjust assets and liability, corresponding income and expense will be adjusted. So when I am saying adjustment means you need to adjust asset or liability, and when you are doing adjustment in asset liability, corresponding income and expense will be also adjusted. Means if you are increasing your asset, so your income will increase. When you are increasing your liability, your expense will increase. When you are decreasing the liability, your income will increase, like this. So when you are doing adjustment यहाँ पर, we need to also adjust the corresponding income and expense. Got it? Examples. Examples of adjusting event. The settlement of a court case after reporting period. I have taken this example. Bankruptcy of a customer that occur after reporting period. I have taken this example. Correct. Sale of inventory after reporting period may give an evidence about the NRB at the end of reporting period. I have given this example. Means this example is given in AS4 and I have given that example. Yes or no? Correct. The determination after reporting period, the amount of profit sharing or bonus payment. This example I have not given. For example, sometimes we pay bonus to employee. The bonus is based on profit, but the profit will be calculated on 31st March if once the financial statement is approved. No. Actual profit will be known when the financial statement is approved. Means bonus amount will be known when the financial statement is approved. Means before approval. It is an adjusting or non-adjusting? Adjusting, we don't know the amount. We know the amount only when the profit is known. Profit is known before approval of financial statement. The amount of bonus will be known before approval of financial statement. But the condition of payment was there on 31st March only. Correct now? Understood? So it will be also adjusting event. Discovery of fraud or error. Any fraud or error after balance sheet date, before approval of financial statement will be corrected. Will require correction. Adjusting event. That show that financial statement are incorrect. But this I will again explain in AS5. Correct. Got it. Then examples of non-adjusting event. Decline the market value of investment. Means suppose on 31st March you have purchased an investment and subsequently the market price has been changed. So subsequently the market price will change only due to subsequent event now. Due to condition arising after balance sheet date. So on 31st March, suppose the market price was 30 and after 31st March the market price become 35. Adjusting? Non-adjusting event because relate to the condition arising after balance sheet date. Correct. Major business combination. Right now you don't know about business combination, but write down amalgamation. You will understand when I will teach amalgamation what they want to say. Right now you don't know about amalgamation, so I don't want to discuss amalgamation right now. Okay? Understood? So this you will automatically understand when I will do amalgamation what they want to say. Major purchase of asset. Any purchase you have done, any asset you have purchased after balance sheet before approval of financial statement. Adjusting? Non-adjusting now. You will purchase many things. That is a future event. This is future event. Future event will not recognize in current financial statement. Classification. Oh, this you delete. You forgot to delete. Delete it. Correct. Then changes in foreign exchange rate. Forex means what? Foreign exchange. Suppose you have done some transaction in dollar. Correct. So on 31st March, $1 is equal to 80. So abhi we have not done AS11. AS11 says that you should record at 80. You have not done AS11. AS11 will say that if you have done some transaction in 31st March, so you should record in Indian rupees by converting that at rupees 80. but subsequently it become 85. It may change now. You know about foreign currency? Foreign currency, US dollar, the rate will change na. Abhi right now it is, I think 80, 82 is going on. Whatever. So it may become 85 after some time. So that is due to what? Some condition arising after balance sheet date. So it is not a adjusting event, it is a non-adjusting event. Major litigation after reporting date. Some litigation happened after reporting date. I have given one example. Some case was filed by the customer after 31st March. So that is a major litigation. Future event. Some litigation happened after 31st March. So there was no condition of that litigation on 31st March. So it is a non-adjusting event. Correct? Now there are two special cases. Let us do that two special cases and this chapter will be completed. Special case. Special case. First is going concern. What our accounting standards say that our financial statements should be prepared on going concern assumption basis. So what is the meaning of going concern? That we don't have any intention to liquidate, we don't have intention to cease our trading, and we want to run our business for foreseeable future. On that assumption, we prepare our financial statement. Means suppose just try to, if I have decided to liquidate, I mean right now we are going concern and COVID-19 came, and due to COVID-19 now we are suffering losses, and we decided that after 2 years we will liquidate. So right now we have not liquidated. So can I say we become non-going concern because we have decided to liquidate. So in that case, our accounting standard says that our financial statement is prepared on non-going concern basis. On non-going concern basis. So how to prepare, that is a different point. But normally if you are following going concern basis, so we are preparing financial statement based on which assumption? Going concern assumption. And once we become non-going concern, means we have decided to liquidate. Not now, after some time. Understood? It is quite possible I have decided to liquidate my business. I have decided to close down my business due to some factor. So once you have decided, then you become non-going concern. And once you become non-going concern, then you need to change your accounting policies and to do something in your balance sheet. What to be done, that I will explain. But have you understood these 2 points? No. Means one thing, whether you are preparing financial statement based on going concern or whether you are preparing financial statement on non-going concern is based on going concern assumption. Is valid or not valid? Means if it is valid, you will apply going concern assumption. If it is not valid, then don't apply going concern assumption. Correct now? Understood what I am saying? Valid means if you have not yet decided to liquidate, it means valid only na. It is valid. Okay? Just try to understand. Now, only think to the extent whatever I am saying. Correct? Okay. 31st March, date of approval. A fire occurred. Means here we have reported a profit of 1000 crore. Profit making company. Correct na? Understood? But fire occurred. And they have incurred a loss of 500 crore. But adjusting, non-adjusting. 100% correct? 100% correct. 100%. But now what AS4 says for a masala. In this there is a masala. What is the masala that I am giving? Well, if GC is valid, GC means GC is valid, then so it is a non-adjusting event. Because you will prepare financial statement based on going concern only, then no adjustment required. Bola aisa no. So if GC is valid means even though you have incurred a loss of 500 crore, You have decided not to liquidate, means your going concern assumption is valid. Am I right or not? If GC is valid, then so it is a non-adjusting event. But due to this loss, it is quite possible it is not insured and you have incurred so much loss, you will repay your all liabilities. You have no other option but to liquidate. Quite possible now. Quite possible. Means it is quite possible due to loss, you have suffered such a loss that you are not able to continue. You are not able to continue and you have decided to liquidate. Means when I am saying you have decided to liquidate, it does not mean you have liquidated right now. It will take some time. Liquidation is not a simple process. It will take time to liquidate. But you have decided to liquidate on this point of time. Correct? So it means if going concern become what? Invalid. Invalid. Understood? Now what our AS4 says, just try to understand. You have prepared this financial statement based on going concern. You have reported a profit of 1000 crore. Now if you give this financial statement to the user of financial statement, they will think that you are at a going concern and you will continue forever and they will invest in your company. They will purchase your equity shares. Na? Bolna yes or no? So this is wrong information you are providing the user. Because you have already decided liquidate, and if you have already decided liquidate, so you only say this financial statement should be prepared based on going concern or non-going concern. Non-going concern. Am I right or not? Because this should be informed to whom? To the user of financial statement. And if you are not informing, can you say they are not able to take rational decision based on your financial statement? Am I right or not? Because 1000 crore profit, everyone will start investing in your company. Even though you have earned 1000 crore profit, then also you should inform that in future we have decided to liquidate. Don't invest in our company. Am I right or not? Such information should be given or not? Yes. And therefore, AS4 says it will be an adjusting event. Correct. And in this case, financial statement. Which financial statement? This financial statement. Huh? This financial statement will be prepared on non-GC basis. Non-GC basis means that is on liquidation basis. On liquidation basis. Non-GC means what? Non-going concern basis. Non-going concern basis means what? Liquidation basis. Means you are going to liquidate. So when you are going to liquidate, so you will sell all your asset. You will settle all your liability. It means if you are selling all your asset, so you should recognize asset at cost or realizable value. At realizable value. Means now you will not apply any accounting standard. In this case, what our accounting principle says that is all asset and all liabilities will be recognized at realizable value. Understood? Now how to prepare such type of balance sheet, that I will do in some other chapter. Means how to prepare a balance sheet of a non-going on a non-going concern basis, that is not a part of this chapter. That I will come and I will teach you in some other chapter. But have you understood this become an adjusting event? This only you need to understand. How to adjust, that is a part of some other chapter that I will teach you how to prepare a balance sheet on non-going concern basis. That is some different topic. I mean right now I am teaching adjusting or non-adjusting, this much only. Am I right or not? So this become adjusting event means all assets and liability need to be adjusted. On which basis? On realizable value. Means now you will not follow any accounting standard. You will not follow any accounting standard. Means suppose there was an inventory. There was one inventory on 31st March, correct? Whose cost price is 1 lakh and NRV is 1,20,000. But now, if it is going concern, you recorded what? 1 lakh because of AS2, but non-going concern then 1,20,000. So AS2 is not applicable. Understood what I am saying? But how to prepare this? That I am not discussing. Have you understood it become adjusting event? This much only you need to understand. So what is the reason? Suppose fire occurred or any natural calamities occur or whatever happened, COVID-19 came. If the going concern is valid, it is an adjusting event. But if going concern assumption is invalid, it become what? Adjusting event. Entire financial statement will be now prepared on which basis? Non-going concern basis. That is on liquidation basis, means entire assets and liability will be adjusted and recorded at realizable value. Understood? Correct? This much you have understood? That is only given. Going concern. An entity shall not prepare financial statement as per going concern. Entities shall not prepare their financial statement, shall not prepare their financial statement as per going concern. If they intend to liquidate, if they have decided to liquidate, if they intend to cease trading, if they decided to cease their trading, or has no realistic alternative but to liquidate, means they do not have any alternative option, they have only one option, that is to liquidate. For example, we don't have intention to liquidate, but suppose government has put some restriction on our company. Suppose plastic industry ban. अभी हुआ ना, correct ना? So can I say now no option, even though we want to continue, but as per government restriction we need to discontinue. We don't have any option but to liquidate. So it means now we become non-going concern. We become non-going concern. Understood? Correct? So I hope you have understood. Once again, can you repeat with me? Entity shall not prepare their financial statement as per going concern if it intend to liquidate or cease trading or has no realistic alternative but to liquidate. If the going concern assumption is not valid based on event occurring after balance sheet date, correct? The financial statement are prepared on liquidation basis. It means assets and liabilities will be adjusted and recorded at understood this point? Correct. This much only. Understood? Suppose fire occurred, but question is silent about going concern or non-going concern. So you need to give both answers. If going concern is valid, non-adjusting event. If going concern is invalid, adjusting event. This much you should write down. So whenever you have a doubt, see actually what happened, give both the answer na. Suppose fire occurred, but question has not said whether they want to continue or they don't want to continue. So you have a doubt about the solution na. So give both answers. If it is the case, this is the answer. This is the case, this is the answer. Simple. Means these two cases may arise. If the going concern remain valid, then say non-adjusting event. Only disclosure is required in the report of approving authority if the amount of loss is material. If the going concern is not valid, adjustment to the assets and liabilities is required. The disclosure in the financial statement is required. Understood? Correct? Proposed dividend, last point. Dividend, you know. Dividend. Company will pay dividend to whom? To whom? Shareholders. Who are shareholders? Members. Means there are two types of shareholders. Equity shareholders and preference shareholders. Preference shareholder dividend is fixed and equity shareholders dividend is not fixed. If there is a profit, suppose there is no profit, whether it is mandatory to pay dividend to preference shareholders? No. Means you don't know. Means dividend is payable only when it's declared by the company. Declared by the company. Once they declare it, then only there is an obligation to pay. Even though there is a profit, they may decide not to pay dividend. Even though there is a profit, they may decide not to pay dividend. All these are decided in directors meeting. All these are decided in directors meeting. Are you able to understand? But there is a rule that if you are paying equity dividend to equity shareholders, then first you need to pay preference dividend to preference shareholders. And there is a rule. This is the rule. Preference dividend is mandatory when you are declared equity dividend to equity shareholders. But suppose if you are not paying equity dividend to equity shareholders, whether there is an obligation to pay preference, no. Entity may decide not to pay preference dividend. They may decide. Understood? This all you will do in your Companies Act in detail. I mean, right now this much you have understood, because I am not teaching you Companies Act now. Correct now. For that I am not receiving any fees also. Acha. Debenture holders. Debenture holders are whether what? They are borrowing or capital. That is one type of borrowing. So whether there is a mandatory to pay interest, even though there is no profit. For debenture holders, there is a mandatory interest. For preference holders, only the rate is fixed. Only the fixed rate is there. But they may or may not be entitled to dividend depending upon the decision taken by directors. Of course, a good company will pay. I am not saying they will not pay. If they will not pay, their reputation will come into the stake now. अरे बोला रे, a good company will always pay dividend, but it is as per the discretion of entity, whether they want to pay or they don't want to pay. Understood? Correct. All will be decided by whom? Directors. Now just try to understand, everyone. Suppose this is what? Balance sheet date. Just try to understand. Correct? And this become what? Date of approval. Correct. Now, about equity shareholders, we don't know rate. Means the rate will be decided by directors depending upon the profit of the company. More profit, more rate. Less profit, less rate. No profit, no rate. Or less profit, then also no rate. That will be decided by whom? Based on the profit. But the profit is known when? On balance sheet date or on approval date? Very good. Means can I say we know the profit on this date? Of which year? Of this financial year? So what directors do? Directors will propose a rate of dividend based on profit before approval of finance, before signing the balance sheet. So it will come into this chapter. I am not asking, then also saying. चुंबक लगा हुआ है. You have some magnet. नीचे magnet है. रुक जा. हल्लू हल्लू. Oh my neck. Oh, I have time. हो गया. Can I teach 5 minutes extra? You have given permission? अरे यार, without permission, I would have not taken the class. Now profit happened. So can directors will now declare, propose a rate of dividend based on this profit. Now suppose they have proposed 10% of capital based on this profit for equity shareholders. This is a proposal, and this will become approved. This will be approved by the shareholders in AGM. Correct? Means then AGM will be held. Now do you know AGM? Shareholders will come and they will approve it. Once approved, so it means it become declared. And now as per Companies Act, entity has an obligation to pay. Means when proposed, there is no obligation to pay. Na? Only once it declared, then only obligation arises. Now what Companies Act, that within 30 days it should be paid. This is given in Companies Act. This is not my point, but I am just informing you that I also know Companies Act. Have you understood this point? Correct? I think you have understood. Now it is your turn. So before approval of financial statement and the directors propose a rate of dividend, it will come in the scope of this chapter. It will come in the scope of this chapter. But adjusting, non-adjusting. Think, but say correct now. Adjusting, non-adjusting. Means this is done before approval of financial statement. Na? So either it will be adjusting. This is adjusting means we need to adjust it. Non-adjusting means no adjustment, no journal entry. Means should we recognize this dividend as a liability in this balance sheet? I was not supposed to use this word because I was knowing once I will use liability, you will say correct. Whether we should recognize this liability on balance sheet date? No. Why? Because no obligation. Obligation arises when? On this date. There was no obligation before approval of financial statement. There was no obligation before approval of financial statement. Understood? Have you understood this point? So if there is no obligation, the question of recognition of liability in this balance sheet will not arise because obligation in here. So there is liability means present obligation. Got it? So this is given in the as a clarification. If dividend are declared after balance sheet date, but before the financial statement are approved. Understood? After balance sheet date, but before the financial statement are approved. Understood? The dividend are not recognized as a liability at balance sheet date because no obligation exists at the time unless the statute requires otherwise. Means if the act says then we can do, but act also does not say. Correct now? So this para you can remove it. Correct now? Just make one changes. This is not declared, this is proposed. Correct? Thus, no liability for proposed dividend need to be recognized in the financial statement. Such dividend are only disclosed in the notes to account. Only we should give a disclosure about proposed dividend. Only a disclosure required, but no recognition because there is no obligation. So for proposed dividend will not pass any journal entry in the current financial statement. The topic is over. Disclosure requirement. Only we should disclose what? Non-adjusting event. The nature of the event is required. An estimate of financial effect means how much loss has happened. That is required. Or a statement that such an estimation cannot be made. So two disclosure required about non-adjusting event. The fact means the nature of the event. And if you can estimate the amount of loss, then that estimation, if you can't estimate, then disclose the fact that you are nalaic, you are not able to estimate it. Understood? The chapter over. Now all questions of the book is homework. Just read it. Correct. Now we'll discuss next day. And if you want some time, then we'll start a new accounting standard tomorrow. Correct. AS4 is completed. I have taken how many examples? 15 to 16 examples. And these are nothing but from question bank only. Correct. Go home, read all question and come back. Thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Enjoy your remaining day.